This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
That's my big fear. I was afraid that we missed somebody.
Neighborhood heroes step up as a fire destroys 5 homes in Tippecanoe County. The smoke visible from miles away. Good evening, I'm Amanda Starantino. Fire crews worked fast in a subdivision just outside West Lafayette to keep that fire from spreading this afternoon. RTV6's Graham Hunter talked to a man who helped rescue his neighbors from that danger.
The cause of the fire is still under investigation, but the impact continues to be felt here in this community. You can see why 5 homes were destroyed here in this neighborhood today, but not before neighbors stepped up to help.
It was really scary how fast they went.
Brian Arbick was doing yard work when his wife pointed out smoke in their neighborhood. They jumped into action.
I ran up to the door, pounded on the door, no answer.
Arbick saw there was no furniture inside the first home. He went one direction and sent his wife to check on a friend's house, knowing a 13-year-old boy might have been home.
She ran over there, found him in the house on fire, and he didn't know it.
She got him and a pet out.
There was a gentleman and a small baby in the house. His garage was on fire, and he didn't know it. So we got him out of the house.
While Arbick and his wife went door to door to evacuate their neighbors, Travis Oliver, who lives about a mile west, noticed the smoke billowing from the fire.
I'm on the fire department in Lafayette, so I kind of figured it was a house fire.
He was off duty at the time and sent up his drone.
When my drone first arrived, I had 4 houses fully involved, and the 5th house was smoking a little bit.
The drone captured these dramatic images of the fire burning as 7 agencies worked to put them out.
At that point, we kind of just went to containment, just making sure we weren't spreading any of the other homes.
Siding melted on nearby homes, but the fire was contained.
Stuff can be replaced. Houses can be replaced. Clothes can be replaced. All that stuff can be replaced. People can't.
As the reality of what could have been sets in on a hero surveying the scene.
When you beat on a door and nobody answers, you hope that's good enough. But you don't know for sure.
Again, the cause of the fire remains under investigation. The American Red Cross is here helping the families whose homes were destroyed find a way forward. We're reporting from West Lafayette, Graham Hunter, RTV6.
Thank you, Graham. And the state fire marshal is looking into the cause of the fire. One of the destroyed homes was vacant. All pets inside the homes were saved as well. Well, it's a beautiful night to enjoy downtown Indianapolis. Storm Team 6 meteorologist Kyle Mounts is working for you, helping you get ready for the weekend. A lot of people out and about downtown with the Beachbody event going on.
Yeah, and it is going to continue to be a very nice start to the weekend here. Our temperatures around central Indiana are still lower 70s to upper 60s after making it into the upper 80s this afternoon. Right now, it is a quiet scan on Storm Team 6 radar for us, and really expecting it to stay that way for much of the upcoming weekend. The bigger picture here shows you that things are quiet not only here at home, but all across the Ohio Valley. So as you get ready to start off your weekend tomorrow morning, maybe you're going to be heading to one of the many farmers markets. We'll have temperatures in the lower 60s. We'll get back into the low 70s for you with sunny skies at 9 a.m. Things are going to heat up this weekend. We'll talk about that, the return of the humidity, and what right now is Tropical Storm Barry could bring some rain to Indiana.
And now to a traffic alert. Several portions of I-65 are closed at this hour and will be for a while. All lanes of I-65 south from the north split to the south split are closed through this Monday, the 15th. Southbound 65 from the south split to I-465 is also completely shut down. It's scheduled to open by 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday, the 22nd. And 65 southbound from 865 to 465 is closed through Monday, July 29th. Several other portions of 65, I-69, and I-465 are partially closed through the weekend. For a full list and for detours, go to the RTV6 app and click on this story. New at 11 tonight, people in Indianapolis and across the country took part in a demonstration against U.S. Border Patrol facilities. Demonstrators gathered outside the Immigration Processing Center on 73rd Street on the northwest side. They're protesting alleged inhumane conditions at detention centers along the border. Organizers and participants are calling for change.
The U.S. in particularly has a big problem in criminalizing immigrants, so they have to change the policies in place, and they also have to change the structure.
This is not what our country is about. You know, the people have a right to seek asylum and they have a right to go through that process. They have a right to humane and sanitary conditions when they go through that process.
Tonight's demonstration comes ahead of nationwide deportation raids scheduled on Sunday. Immigration officials will likely target at least 10 major cities. And Indianapolis is not on the list of those targeted cities, but local church leaders say they are offering support to anyone who may be concerned.
We're going to do what we've been doing all along, which is helping people to be informed about what their rights are, helping them to know that they are loved and connected, and trying to be the kind of community that we hope the whole city, the whole country would be, one that is loving and welcoming of all people.
The acting director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement says targeted cities include Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, and Miami. He also says arrests will not be limited to certain areas. Monday's City County Council meeting could take an emotional turn. Councilors are scheduled to vote on a plan to provide free ride shares to people living in a food desert. The Walmart neighborhood market off of North Franklin Road near 38th Street closed today. A lack of fresh food options has been an issue for a while in that part of the northeast side. Walmart was one of the last full-service grocery stores in that area.
Very convenient for a lot of people here. You know, it's just like I said, it's just not a good thing that's closing down.
Oh, they got to either go up on Pendleton Pike or go on West Washington Street, or they got to go on 10th Street. It's the only place they can go now, or Michigan Road. That's an inconvenience to them.
Several neighbors have told RTV6 they are against the city's plan to address food deserts by providing transportation through ride-sharing apps. They say more should be done to bring stores into the community. And a growing hazard on the northwest side prompted a neighbor to reach out to RTV6 for help. He's concerned about trees and brush blocking a stop sign on 56th Street near Grandview Drive.
That stop sign that's there you used to be able to see about halfway down the block, and now you have to be almost there before you can actually see it.
RTV6 found out who is responsible for that area. Highland Golf and Country Club says it has maintained the greenery there in the past, but part of the property is in the public right-of-way, which is the city's responsibility. The city asked that you report obstructed signs to the Mayor's Action Center so someone can inspect the complaint. The search continues for a van stolen from a facility that helps senior citizens in need. The van looks just like this one. RTV6 first told you last night at 11. Thieves stole the van as a driver for Johnson County Senior Services helped a patient get to cancer treatment. The van cannot be easily replaced because it has a special extra-wide wheelchair ramp. The van is a 2017 wheelchair-accessible white Dodge Caravan with a blue municipal license plate. The number is 54394. If you see it, contact police. You can find more information on the RTV6 app. A homeowner in Irvington is lending a helping hand to neighbors as the community deals with a rash of thefts and other petty crimes. For the second time in 3 months, someone busted a woman's car window and stole her backpack. Both times, Steve Henry, who lives down the street, found the backpack and returned it. Steve says it's important for neighbors to look out for each other.
A lot of people have been here a long time. Everybody knows everybody else. Keep an eye out for strange activity, people in the alleys.
And a reminder, locking your doors and taking anything valuable out of your car can help deter thieves from targeting you. Services start tomorrow for a woman who inspired countless people after surviving the Holocaust. Visitation for Eva Moses Core will be held from 4 to 8 p.m. Saturday at DeBon Funeral Home in Terre Haute. The funeral will be at 10 o'clock Sunday morning. 2 public memorials are set for August. Police have released the name and picture of a man wanted in connection to a bank robbery and shooting. They say 32-year-old Jeremy Snyder is a person of interest in the case. The shooting happened at Prime Trust Financial Federal Credit Union in Muncie Wednesday when a customer tried to stop the robbery. He was not severely injured. Snyder is considered armed and dangerous. If you see him, call 911. A new affordable housing option is now available on the east side of Indianapolis. The mini Hartmans Center is on East Vermont Street near Sherman Drive in the old IPS School number 78 building. The center offers affordable housing for seniors, and the facility hosted an open house today. It's named after a beloved member of the neighborhood.
Minnie Hartman, by the way, was a member of the community and a very, very active PTA member. And so this building is named in her honor as just kind of another testament to neighbors matter and being involved matters and caring matters.
56 of the 64 units are already leased. The center will eventually include a child daycare center. Protecting your potential product before you prepare your pitch. What you need to know before you move forward with a great idea. And working for you, from getting relief from the heat to smoother sailing on the roads. Here are some of this week's results after you asked RTV6 for help. The health department is cracking down on landlords to make sure they fix broken AC units.
Troy Holyfield is hot inside his East Side apartment.
Put ice or cold rags on it.
Troy lives at Emerson Place, an apartment complex hit this week with a violation notice from the health department for broken air conditioning.
Following our story, an East Side apartment complex is making some changes to keep its tenants cool. The management company says they still have 8 broken AC units, and they've ordered 8 new units, which are scheduled to arrive tomorrow. Emerson Place's management company also says they've purchased window units to help those tenants cool off in the meantime.
Ernestine Moy has lived in her East Side home for 21 years. And in that time, the road that leads to her house has literally fallen apart.
It's just getting worse and worse.
In fact, their request from February is still listed as active on the city's online pothole map.
We have new developments to share with you tonight. Ernestine's daughter shared this video with us showing a DPW crew making repairs today, and then we went out and saw the completed work for ourselves. The 2 women started calling the city back in February to repeatedly report the potholes, but they were never fixed. This week, they contacted RTV6 for help, and after our story aired yesterday, those potholes, as you can see, they are repaired.
I am really grateful and happy. It's just awesome. We just called Channel 6 and you guys got on it.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Central Indiana entrepreneurs will have a chance to make a pitch to Shark Tank next week. So before you present a product to anyone, Hiring Hoosiers is helping you protect your ideas. We spoke to an Indianapolis attorney who specializes in intellectual property. Jeff Kosk cannot give legal advice, but says Shark Tank participants will likely need to file for a utility patent with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. The process is lengthy and involves fees, and he suggests that you use caution when making your idea public.
If you don't apply for the patent protection, then after that 1 year has passed from the first public disclosure, anyone can go ahead and build upon that invention. The patent system was actually invented to enable and promote the disclosure of inventions so that other people could build on things and the technology could advance.
For a more detailed breakdown of the patent process, go to hiringhoosiers.com. And the Shark Tank open call is Tuesday at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Gates open at 6 a.m. You are encouraged to fill out an application beforehand. And another member of President Trump's cabinet is out. Alex Acosta announced his resignation today following major backlash over his handling of a decade-old case. ABC's Mona Kosar-Abdi is in Washington with the fallout.
With President Trump by his side, Labor Secretary Alex Acosta announcing he's stepping down.
I submitted my resignation to the president effective 7 days from today. It would be selfish for me to stay in this position and continue talking about a case that's 12 years old rather than about the amazing economy we have right now.
Trump praising his labor secretary, saying it's sad to see him go. Trump also making it clear that this was not his decision, but Acosta's.
I just hate what he's saying now, because we're going to miss him.
This announcement coming just days after Acosta held a news conference defending a plea deal his office negotiated in a sex crimes case involving wealthy financier Jeffrey Epstein. Acosta, then a U.S. attorney in Florida.
We were trying to do the right thing for these victims.
The deal coming under new scrutiny after Epstein was indicted this week by federal prosecutors in New York on sex trafficking charges dating back to the time when Acosta was U.S. attorney. Epstein has pled not guilty to those charges. Court documents in the Florida case show more than 30 women had accused Epstein of sexually abusing them as teenagers. Yet under the agreement, Epstein served only 13 months of an 18-month sentence, registered as a sex offender, but avoided federal charges.
Epstein got an ultimatum. Plead guilty to a charge that would require jail time and registration, or face federal charges.
Acosta diverted blame onto the state prosecutors who initiated the case, claiming had his office not intervened, Epstein would have walked. But the state prosecutor at the time accuses Acosta of trying to rewrite history, claiming he could have pursued the 53-page indictment federal prosecutors had written up. Mona Kosar-Abdi, ABC News, Washington.
And the early frontrunner for the Democratic presidential nomination plans to visit central Indiana this month. We have learned former Vice President Joe Biden is scheduled to speak at the National Urban League Conference. That event goes from July 24th to July 27th in Indianapolis. We are working to learn more details. Stay with RTV6 for those updates. And Governor Eric Holcomb is working to get help for Indiana farmers. Today, he requested a federal disaster designation for 88 of the state's 92 counties. Weeks of heavy rain saturated farms, delaying and in some cases preventing farmers from planting crops. If the designation is approved, emergency low-interest loans would be made available to farmers. And Tropical Storm Barry could become the season's first hurricane when it makes landfall. And some parts of Louisiana are under an evacuation order tonight. Here's a live look at New Orleans. The storm could dump up to 2 feet of rain on the state, which is already dealing with some flooding there. Now, Kyle, they're going to be seeing a lot of rain. I think a lot of people are wondering what's going to happen to Louisiana, as well as will that affect our rain chances this weekend?
Yeah, I don't think so this weekend for us because it is a slow-moving storm, and that's going to be the problem for them. They're going to get a lot of rain because this storm's only moving at about 3 miles per hour. We eventually could get in on some wet weather from the system, but tonight you can see it's still churning as a strong tropical storm off the coast of Louisiana with winds of 65 miles per hour. It would be a hurricane once it gets to about 75 miles per hour. And there you can see that center of circulation tonight. Now, as we go through time here, it is expected to make landfall tomorrow, possibly as a Category 1 hurricane in Louisiana. And then as we get into next week, you notice what's left of it starts to spin into the Ohio Valley. We'll talk more about our extended forecast and rain chances here in just a few minutes. Right now, though, all is nice and quiet and really pretty comfortable. 72 in downtown, upper 60s in Kokomo and Bloomington with a very light or calm wind out there. That's going to allow those temperatures to drop back into the lower 60s, some areas even the upper 50s. 59 degrees for you tomorrow morning in Columbus, 62 in Danville and Greenwood. And a look at your Saturday forecast. It's another spectacular day here. It is going to get a little bit warmer and a little more humid. It's not going to be oppressively humid tomorrow, though. These temperatures in the middle 70s for you at 10 a.m. We're back into the low 80s at noon. And yeah, we're going to go for about 90 degrees for that afternoon high on Saturday. 90 in Kokomo, 91 Muncie, Anderson at 90 degrees with a little more humidity. We'll talk about those heat index values that will be in the lower to middle 90s Saturday afternoon. 89 for your high in Martinsville, 88 in Rockville, and we'll find those temperatures close to 90 from Bedford, Seymour into Columbus as well. Sunday forecast, pretty much a carbon copy. It will be a little warmer, though, as we get into the afternoon. Lower 90s, and that's where we're going to feel more of that humidity. So it will feel more like the upper 90s to about 100 degrees here as we go into our Sunday with just an isolated chance for a shower or storm. Now, let's pick up the timeline here. This is 9 o'clock Tuesday morning. The remnants of Barry at that point will be moving into southern portions of Illinois and eventually into Indiana. So Tuesday, Wednesday looks like the best chance where we could see some rainfall here. Don't think it's going to be heavy rain, but certainly a welcome change here as we've kind of dried things out. We could use some wet weather there for some of the farmers at this point. 7-day planning forecast. There's the heat the next several days with high temperatures around 90 degrees. We'll be into the middle 80s as those rain chances come up for the middle of the week. But look at what happens by the time we're getting closer to next weekend. Those temperatures back in the lower to middle 90s.
And IndyCar is back on track this weekend. RTV6 Sports is on the road in Canada for us tonight.
And I'm Dave First in Toronto, Ontario, as IndyCar gets back into it. 3 straight weeks, but with all due respect to Sunday's race here in Toronto, the most emotional moment will come beforehand, all thanks to the return of Robert Wickens. That story coming up here on RTV6.
In Cherokee for $269 a month.
Thanks, team, and good evening, everyone. IndyCar returns to Canada this weekend. One driver getting a lot of attention in Toronto won't be competing in Sunday's race, but Robert Wickens will be out ahead of the field. Dave First picks up our coverage in Toronto.
It's the heart of the summer stretch for IndyCar. 3 straight weeks, 3 straight races, and it all begins here in Toronto, Ontario, where the biggest cheers, with all due respect, will come before Sunday's race. That's when Robert Wickens will drive a ceremonial pace lap to get things started. It's been just over 10 months now since his accident at Pocono. He's made immense strides in his rehab, and thanks to his team sponsor, Arrow, he'll drive a specially prepared Acura NSX using hand controls to fully control the car. He's been in it all week, says he can't wait for Sunday.
We're not even 1 year in of what's going to be a very long recovery, but hopefully I can keep on driving because I think that's the best therapy I can have, and I'm a little bit concerned by how eager I am to get back in the car, especially after driving yesterday because, yeah, I mean, I was always having this, you know, it's kind of like the angel and the devil on each shoulder because once I get back into racing full time, the rehab's almost going to be sidelined, and I need to figure out at what point am I okay to start driving again and almost give up on rehabbing. So with, that's going to be that's a future problem. So right now we can just focus on this event and how fun it's going to be.
The Canadian finished 3rd here a year ago, and this place went absolutely nuts. There's no question that ovation will be louder on Sunday. In Toronto, Ontario, Dave First, RTV6 Sports.
A pair of practice sessions today. A look at a bit of the action. Turn 11 was the tricky spot on the course. Several spinners during practice. There's Will Power getting turned around. Same for his teammate. It's points leader Joseph Newgarden, and eventually goes. Graham Rahal would eventually get bit by 11 as well. Alexander Rossi would tag the wall later. We will see how that spot holds up come race day on Sunday. Here's a look at the fast laps of the day. 3 drivers turning under 1 minute. Simon Pagenaud was the quickest. Scott Dixon won this race last year. He was 5th quick this afternoon. They'll qualify tomorrow, race on Sunday. Look for Dave's reports from Toronto this weekend here on RTV6 News. The Swimming and Diving World Championships start this weekend in South Korea. Indiana will be well represented in the pool thanks to a dynamite team for USA Diving. 9 athletes with links to the Hoosiers state have qualified. Purdue's David Bodaya qualified on the 3-meter springboard, and he'll team up with Carmel's Steele Johnson in the 10-meter synchronized event. They won silver at the last Olympics in that one. Bodaya is competing at his 7th World Championship and will be trying to add to his collection of 5 medals.
Experience plays on my side. I'm a little older than most of the athletes, so I think that's a big plus. So I know what I'm getting myself into. At least what's different about this round is that I'm doing it on a 3-meter. So I've done my entire career up on 10-meter platform, and I know that. The only thing that doesn't change is the competition.
Divers will be in the pool beginning on Saturday. We wish them well. Hey, have a great weekend, everyone. We'll be back to wrap up tonight's news after one more break.
Ed Martin Toyota.
The only name you need to know.
All right, we're going to start to turn the heat up a little bit as we head through the next couple of days. The 90s are back on Saturday and Sunday. That said, we've got some pretty nice weather. If you want to get outside and enjoy it a little bit, just take it in moderation and make sure that you take those breaks and keep yourself hydrated with plenty of water. Isolated chance for a shower on Sunday. Better chance with the remnants of Barry coming our way Tuesday and Wednesday.
Thinking a perfect weekend for a pool day.
It looks good for that. Lake day all.
Yeah. Lots of good things to do. Have a great weekend. Good night.